I believe being a humble person comes from telling the truth. It comes from being an honest person. So, not pretending to be someone else, being truly yourself, being truly you, and not lying to anybody. You have no lies to tell. You're not covering anything up. You are humbly you. You don't let labels dictate how you feel about yourself. You are humble. You are so honest with where you come from. You are honest with where you are, and you're also honest with where you want to be. That is humbleness. Humbleness does not come from success. Humbleness does not come from gaining something. It comes from understanding your truth, where you really come from. You know, you have to be honest with yourself. You can't compare yourself to anybody else because that's not humbleness. That creates this comparison, which is a thief of joy. Comparison is the thief of joy. And it also creates this expectation for yourself. If you're comparing yourself to other people, you're creating a pride. You're not humble. You're not in your internal aura. You're not yourself. You're literally looking at someone else thinking, oh, they're better, or I could do better, or, you know, where do they come from? No. Being honest, being truly yourself, being a humble person comes from understanding your truth, where you truly come from, your parents, your siblings, where you grew up, what you have been exposed to. You have to be honest with yourself. It does not come from success. It doesn't come from, oh, I came from the bottom and now I'm up at the top and I'm humble. Humbleness doesn't matter where you end up because you're honest every step of the way. Being humble is experiencing truth every single second. It is a form of truth. It's your truth. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks because you are so humble. Nothing anyone can say will ever hurt you, will ever change your route in life because you are always going to be truthful with what you want. Having pride is where that gets messed up, is where you start making untruthful decisions that are unaligned with you, decisions that are connected to other people. You're going to be making decisions based off of someone else instead of your truth. So being a humble person, honestly, it's not hard because you have to be so honest with yourself. You have to be so like, I know where I come from. I know who I, like in my life. I know who is around me and I know where I want to be. It doesn't matter where you end up because you are appreciative and honest with what you have now. That's humbleness. That is true humbleness. You are able to appreciate the present without expecting a future, without dwelling in the past, without comparing yourself. Humbleness is being in your true form all the time, all the time. You can't choose to be humble one second and then prideful the next. No, if you're humble, you are humble. You are humble. You are able to give your opinions to people and their truths. They are complete truths and it's your knowledge. It is you. You are always going to be professionally you. If you let anybody else come into your life and tell you how to live your life or try to compare themselves to you, why let your pride get in the way of that? Why let anybody else, no. Because, okay, we have this thing with celebrities and people who are successful, okay? And we don't see them as humble. We see them as people that just were entitled to money and just got to the top. I don't believe humbleness is attached to money, success, or any sort of prosperity. Humbleness is literally just being. It is just being a human being. Plain simple, just like that. If you think it's anything, no. Pride is where it gets complicated. Pride is a chaotic form of energy. Humbleness is calm. Humbleness is always going to win. in any situation. If there's a disagreement between a prideful person and a humble person, who's really going to win? Prideful person might think they win, but the humble person always wins. Always wins, because they always have the truth. They are always fine with the truth. They are fine with what they say, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't penetrate them like it penetrates a prideful person, because a humble person will always upset a prideful person. So being humble is simple. Being humble is accepting your weaknesses. It's accepting your strengths. It's accepting your insecurities. It's accepting everything about you and your life, and anything that ever happens to you is acceptance. It is a true acceptance. And it's being honest about it. It's not shying away from it. It's not hiding away from it. You are truly being honest with yourself as a human being. That is humbleness. That is the true definition of being humble. It does not come from success. It comes from true meaning in yourself. Now, how do you start being honest with yourself? How do you start being honest? Well, it starts with how you talk to yourself. What do you really, truly think of yourself? Like, do you think highly? Do you think low of yourself? I believe there's a happy medium with humbleness. Like, you can think highly of yourself, but you can also understand you have weaknesses that set you back in life. You know, there's things you could work on, but that's being honest about it. That is being, like, you're acknowledging yourself. So that is humbleness. That is true humbleness. You start by listening to how you talk to yourself, and you change your self-thoughts, you change how you perceive yourself, and that is where true honesty and humbleness comes from. So that is it today. I wanted to talk about being humble because I believe I am on the path of humbleness. I have always been on the path of humbleness. I'm always honest with myself, and I'm honest about my strengths, my weaknesses. This YouTube is basically a diary showing how humble I can be every single day. And I really want to be humble every single day and not let any sort of finances or success get in the way of who I am, because who I am has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with success, has nothing to do with the end goal. It's who I am right now. It's who I'll always be, because my truth is a walking truth that will never change. And I want everyone to recognize what your walking truth is, because it doesn't change no matter what room you're in. That is true humbleness. So, thanks guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.